Welcome to part 2 of the Garden Report, powered by Blue Apron. Go to blueapron.com/Garden Report for 3 free meals and free shipping. Let's talk about someone that could use some free shipping over to Boston. That's DeMarcus Cousins. So the topic has come up nonstop. I'm sure your Twitter feed has been filled with it in the last 48 hours. I have always been someone that is not in favor of trading for DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay.
We had earlier on the show before the game, we had the play-by-play guy, Grant, and he said that really he thinks that Cousins can make it work when he's surrounded by the right people. And he's someone that's been extremely critical of DeMarcus Cousins in the past. So if even he thinks that DeMarcus Cousins can make it work around the right people, then I guess I have to be a little bit more optimistic about it. But I've watched Cousins play probably 50 games, and every single time I watch him, he inches closer and closer to being someone that you can build a title team around. But you're basically, it's like voting for Donald Trump. It's like, you hope
we're getting political here.
Maybe he's acting crazy, and when he's actually in position to succeed, he's going to. He says he's going to stop using his Twitter, and then he starts tweeting the most ridiculous stuff. He tries to negotiate trade deals over Twitter. And right now, DeMarcus Cousins
That's how Danny Ainge should do it.
I know, but right now, DeMarcus Cousins is still trying to renegotiate NAFTA on Twitter, and it's just not working right now.
Throwing a lot of things at me.
Just stay with political metaphors.
No, I'm going to reel it back into basketball. I do believe, like Grant said, that you are kind of a product of your environment. Now, when you're surrounded by losers, and I don't mean that in a harsh way, but essentially when you're just losing constantly, that's going to rub off on you. You're going to have a negative attitude. And you're going to bring that's going to bring you down. You're going to bring others down around you. Come to a place with a winning sort of atmosphere like Boston or wherever it might be, San Antonio, for example, and you will start to see some changes. But I do wonder if it's not automatic. You know, some you can't teach an old dog new tricks. DeMarcus Cousins has been around long enough now where that's kind of the label that he has, and you got to wonder if it's worth blowing up everything that you've put together for one guy, and then if it doesn't work out, or it doesn't work out well enough, then you got to start from scratch again. So that's the big risk there. I think the Celtics currently constructed are meant for a guy like Al Horford more than they are for DeMarcus Cousins.
It's definitely true. Coincidentally, Jay Crowder did call DeMarcus a dog.
That was interesting. Oh, yeah. That was interesting that the Crowder Cousins sort of mutual respect is exactly what he called it. I mean, that's what it is. Where it's good to hear that, because you kind of do wonder what you obviously know what fans think of DeMarcus Cousins, but you kind of wonder what other players think of him, and that's kind of like a peek into how they feel about how he plays and how he carries himself on the court.
Well, tonight his teammates were not happy about them. No. According to sources, they were not happy about his final play. The fact is, DeMarcus is a guy that you can fit into pretty much any team from an offensive perspective. Right. Defense, I mean, if you drive right at him, he can crush you. Mm-hmm. Which is a virtue. I mean, he doesn't foul as much when people are driving right at him. Mm-hmm. But you compare the way that Al Horford was defending all over the court tonight to what DeMarcus was doing, and you're wondering, and same thing with Jay Crowder, if you put in a lineup where DeMarcus is, say, defending the 4 or whatever it is, Horford has to defend stretch 4s, you're putting DeMarcus on the pick and rolls, you see how well Horford defends the pick and rolls. I talked to him about it after the game, about how he keeps his hands spread. He's always just like this, just trying to hug the space around him. Right. And it closes those gaps so effectively. Teams can't pass through the middle on pick and rolls, and they have to work around the sides, basically. But with DeMarcus, we saw the Celtics. They can get DeMarcus running the wrong way on a pick and roll. We saw Marcus Smart find Amir Johnson a few times, which has become a really good pick and roll pairing. He's someone that this team right now, they haven't been defending up to their standard, but we know that when they're defending, that's the strength that they have that can really put them over the top against most teams. And while DeMarcus's offensive absolute explosiveness can make up for it a lot of nights, you have to wonder over the course of like a playoff series, for instance, is DeMarcus's vulnerabilities on defense compared to what they already have, is that not gonna be able to, can the scoring make up for that? And I don't think it can.
Right, and I think a lot of what the Celtics do on offense comes from their defense. They get out on the breaks, they're in transition. A lot of their guys, they feed off that. Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, Al Horford, those guys, it's defense first with a lot of those guys. It's effort, and that's what defense is. They'll all tell you it's effort. Sometimes I wonder when DeMarcus Cousins gets frustrated with stuff that's going on offensively, that tends to carry over to him defensively, big time,
huge.
And you don't see that often on the Celtics. And I think that's a big red flag with me with DeMarcus Cousins is how is he going to let how is he going to let the offense carry over to the defense? And so far, I haven't been impressed with that aspect of his game. The one thing I will say about Al Horford, now that he's playing more power forward, and he mentioned this tonight, is that he's allowed to be more all over the court. So he's getting his hands on balls that normally he wouldn't be around when he was playing center and just banging down low with other bigs. So you're kind of seeing a more versatile Al Horford than maybe you expected.
Well, it's not going to matter because I think after what I saw tonight, they're going to trade the Nets pick for Matt Barnes because
you got to hope
Matt Barnes
so.
almost had a triple-double there. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Matt Barnes on his 30th team. Fun fact.
Really?
His 30th NBA team, yeah. He's the only player to ever play for all 30 teams.
Hey, good for him, right? All right, well, that's going to do it for Jimmy. I'm Jared. Kyle's behind the camera, shrugging, wanting to get out of here. So that is it on the Garden Report, brought to you by Blue Apron. Remember, blueapron.com/Garden Report, 3 free meals, free shipping, and you get a free smile from me or something like that. That'll do it for us here. Good night. We will see you next week.